play Foundations of Rome. This box is bigger than my head. It is, well, it's big. All right, so before we get into it, though, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell because board games are awesome, and that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana. Now, Rainey, tell us more about Foundations of Rome. I know it just came through the mail. It's a Kickstarter,
it is
right?
a Kickstarter, and in true traditional form, we're missing one of our pieces. We're missing the first player metal statue that came with it, but everything we got is pretty amazing, which we'll get into in a minute. Now, this one is, you know, I love Roman games. This one is a Sundrop painted version of the game. All of the figures was part of the Kickstarter version if you got the Deluxe, but they were just standard. I paid extra to get them dipped in with the Sundrop, and I think it's totally was worth it because they look amazing.
So, how much did this bad boy cost you?
At the time, I don't remember how much Sundrop was. I think it was like $30, but the Kickstarter itself was $159 for everything.
Wait, what? Only $159?
Yeah, it was $159 for all in.
Okay.
And then they have, now, you know, the Kickstarter's over. You can find it on the Board Game Geek Market or on Game Steward, where they order a lot of extra Kickstarters and sell them for $239.99 for all of it. Oh, but that's without the Sundrop painting. With the Sundrop painting, they're selling it for $299.95. Okay. So, or $299.99, sorry. So, yeah, I mean, basically, I think I paid like $30, so about $190 for everything. So it's already got a $100
Still,
markup.
that's not bad though. All right, so I mean, tell us more about it. So who designed the game?
So it's, well, first of all, it's got a Board Game Geek rating currently of 7.8. It is a 2022 release, obviously. Although this has been promoted for almost 2 years now. So I saw this at Gen Con for the first time back in 2019. So that's like 3 years ago that this was first being talked about, and they had a demo copy there. Mm-hmm. So it got delayed. It got delayed. Finally, you know, it was supposed to come out in 2021, and all the delays again from COVID. So now it came out in 2022. It's got, I mentioned Board Game Geek rating of 7.8. It's got a Board Game Geek rank of 4651 currently. It's a 2 to 4 player game in this base version. Now, there was an add-on to play solo. I don't believe I added that on because I don't typically play solo. 60 to 90 minute length, age 13 and up, designed by Emerson Matsuchi, art by Stephen Gibson. Amazing job, Stephen. This was beautiful. Published by Arcane Wonders, which this is a huge step up from what you typically see from an Arcane Wonders game. I mean, yeah, they knocked it out of the park. We'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, that's all. It's not hit retail yet. I'm not sure what the retail price will be or what the downgrade will be for the retail, because I mean, these pieces, I don't know how you play it without them. I
mean, obviously they'll just do some cardboard tiles, but why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about quality pieces. All right, so beautiful. I don't know. He'll get some close-up shots for you guys, but holy moly, this stuff is absolutely gorgeous. All the different buildings, and every building is, you know, relatively different if it's a different like size or shape.
They have they're weighty too.
Yeah, I mean, they're not bad on the weight.
Yeah, now I would say do not drop these pieces on the floor. They will probably shatter. There are some very small statues and figures. I'm surprised they were able to ship these safely because, I mean, they had them well packaged, but there's some very thin components on the statues.
Yeah, for the details, like the staff or whatever. Specifically this one. I mean, this one's beautiful, but, you know, it's very temperamental. But overall, it's absolutely breathtaking what they did. They've got inlay boards for these big pieces. They have one for the players, although that one's starting to curl, makes you a little sad. You do get metal coins in this. Now, what I didn't understand is why have this aged wash for the ones, but the shiny threes? Like, for me, I wish they would have made this a different color in the wash.
I don't know why. It's the ones are rougher, they're smaller. So, I mean, they're easy to tell the difference, but they
yeah, but I'm like,
they're
this
both
looks
silver.
definitely more Rome than this, just
Yeah.
because of the shiny nature. And I wish they would have stuck with this theme, but honestly, guys, we're nitpicking here because
I mean,
really it's
I'm
beautiful.
sure this is part of the retail. They come with cardboard tokens, but there was an add-on for the coin that was part of it. The storage mechanism on this is outstanding. The box, when you take it off, it has drawers for all of the
players,
the players, and then the bits for the shared bits. So each
they did
one
a great job.
just slides
for this.
right in and out. Normally it'd be over, and you have one over here for storing the. That's where these side bits, these storage bits will go. All the statues go straight up and down. But yeah, this is it's a brilliant storage mechanism, but it's going to take a lot of real estate on your shelf. I think it's designed to fit into a Deluxe shelf.
But it's beautiful. It's totally worth the space. All right. So overall, quality of pieces, give it a score, Randy Wilson.
All right. So I will say you have to, when you get it, assemble all of the little pieces that go in. For the most part, they were pretty good about going in. There was a few that were just buggers.
You had to fight.
Well, some of them I couldn't get in. I pressed and pressed and pressed, and I just could not get them in. I think one of them I just managed to pop in just before this video. But some of them are a pain, and my thumb is still, 2 days later, still tender from pressing.
You know, it reminds me of getting those magnets inside the Catan boards.
So, I've still got 2 more to do. I did because we only played 3 players, so I didn't get the other 2 out to assemble yet. But yeah, it was a chore. The other thing is, while the storage is really nice, it looks great, it works well, everything has to be in exactly the right place and shaped and turned exactly the right way to get the lid to go down. So it's going to be a kind of a pain to put it away. It's really easy to put them into the box. The problem is when you try to put the lid on, and then you got to figure out where is it puffing up and where do I need to turn, because there's a specific way. Now, to their credit, they did put diagrams in the book that show you the way they orient, but it's wrong. So
Are you sure it's wrong?
Yes. When the molding for the top does not match to this, I had to turn some of them differently. It's not horribly wrong, but there's a few pieces that are turned wrong. And they're pretty easy to tell. But it's close. I mean, it shows where everything goes in the right positions, but you don't really need that because it matches really well. They made a smart move in actually putting it on the box itself. What was the score, or what are you score from it, which is beneficial twofold, because it makes it easy to put them back, but also it makes it easy when you're scoring during the game just to look at your tray. You don't have to go and look at the board and try to figure out all your pieces.
With all the mixed build. I mean, but going back to quality of pieces, give it a
honestly
score.
With the very minute problems it is, all of the pieces being as amazing as they are, I think overwhelms it. It's a 10. I mean, I would give it slightly less than a 10, but it would round up. Again, it's. Yeah,
I'm just sad that one board is curled.
Yeah,
so
it's curled.
bad.
The scoreboard is curled bad. I'd probably put some weight on it and get it flattened out.
I mean, but beyond that, you're absolutely right. This is a Rockstar 10. This is just breathtaking. It's beautiful. I mean, if you're going to play this game, well, everyone's going to stop and ask, hey, what is that game? So, table presence, it definitely has. It's gorgeous, breathtaking. I agree. 10.
Now, I will say, if you look at this, it looks like it's a heavy game. It is not. It is a light to medium puzzle game almost. I mean, it's definitely not a heavy game at all. And all the bits you might want to. Some might say it's overproduced. I hate that phrase because I want all my games to be beautiful and really well made.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, though, because here's the thing: games have to get very more competitive. Right, so it's not just about the gameplay anymore, and that's why we review quality of pieces, because there are so many games out there, you really need something to draw your attention, and this does it. And honestly, when you introduce new people to gaming, you need something that's breathtaking, and this is one of those that you can introduce to maybe some newer folks, and they will eat it up. So, with that, now let's move on to theme. Hello, you're building Rome. I don't know what more you need from that. Foundations of Rome. It says it.
I love Roman-themed games to begin with. This one just floored me. When I saw the pieces, just they weren't even the finished pieces; they were just the prototypes. I was like, "This is going to be amazing as far as the components."
Yeah, they nailed this theme.
And then when they added the sun drop, it just pops. Everything just. I mean, every detail shines on this. It looks like Rome. If you were, other than the little plastic colors on top, if it weren't for those, this would look like a Roman city.
Yeah, but that's good to have for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's necessary.
Yeah. No, but my only sad piece. There's no arena.
There is.
Oh, where?
It's when you play with the add-on of the monuments. There is the Roman Colosseum is in there. It's just you only get a random subset of them.
Oh,
so you draw 6 cards.
Then I retract my theme concern.
Yeah, no, all of the important buildings are there. I mean, it's beautiful, and I'm kind of sad you can't play with all of the monuments at once.
Well, to be fair, there's a lot. We still didn't even get to play that one because that one was just. Didn't get a chance, guys. I just didn't get a chance. So theme-wise, 10. Guys, the building, the architecture. I mean, yes, it's a bit of quality components. Okay, yeah. But it brings the theme to life. And sometimes you do get that interconnectivity. And this is what happened here. 10 on theme.
Yeah, it is a table hog because of all the bits. I mean, the board itself is not. It takes up very little space. But when you add on all the players... And
but if you have side tables and a small table, you'll be
well, I'm a little nervous about side tables with this one because, like I said, if you drop one of these on our hardwood floor, it's going to shatter.
I know.
Yeah, we're not going to test that.
No, but they're not. They're plastic.
Anything with these bits.
Well, those are different, but like this one where it doesn't have any.
I do not want to test it.
No, I'm not going to test it, but
I'm just very nervous about this being fragile, and because if you break a piece, there's I don't know if they can replace it, especially with the sun drop. So this is one you're going to have to be very careful with.
Yeah, I mean I get it, but. Still, I think.
But this is one that you could actually, if you had a space to do so, you could just leave it out because it's going to catch. It's almost like a very nice chess set or whatever. It just is going to attract attention.
Yeah, guys, if you can't tell, he loves this game.
I love the theme of it. I will get to gameplay in a little bit, but it's amazing how beautiful it is.
All right, so now let's talk about the rule book.
Well, we didn't score it. Oh,
yes, we did. We both said 10.
For theme? Yeah, it's definitely a 10. Okay.
We both...
If you couldn't tell, if we didn't say it, it is a 10.
Yeah.
All right. So now to talk about the rule book. The rule book is actually very beautiful. It's got a nice cover. It is, let's see, it's got some art in the back, 32 pages plus back cover. It is very decent, large print actually. It's actually larger than you really need it to be. But even with my bad eyes, I could read this easily.
Hey, don't be jacking no small no. It's fine. It's perfect. Leave it alone. Don't get any ideas about changing it.
It had quite a few different things like that, typos, but nothing big that was impacting the play. Just some spelling and some stuff like that. But the pictures are very clear, very helpful. It's a very simplistic game to learn. It's not difficult to learn. It's going to be difficult to master because it's kind of like one of those chess type games where you learn the basics of it. It's easy to play, but difficult to master. The actual gameplay of it goes to page 13, and then after that, it's all of the add-ons, and there are a ton of add-ons for this that come with the Kickstarter. You have the Monuments expansion, which adds in. You normally have your player board pieces, but this adds on a set that is for everyone to access. You have the trading and stealing module, which lets you basically trade and steal. So it's for stealing lots. Then you have the objectives, which just adds in-game objectives to accomplish, whether you can play it as public or private. You have invocations where you add events, in essence, to the card deck that you can purchase and then trigger at your leisure. It adds player roles, if you want to have some variable player powers. Then there's a cooperative mode.
Yeah, and that's kind of getting into gameplay, but I mean, overall...
Yeah, but it's got a ton of add-ons in the rulebook. So the rulebook's really well laid out, and like I said, it does have these nice diagrams for showing you how things go into the box. and how they're supposed to be oriented is just wrong. So given that, I'm probably going to give it a 9. It's really well made, and it also has a nice history of, like, not really history, but a description of what the buildings are and their importance. So yeah, I thought this was a really well made rule book.
All right, so now let's talk about actual gameplay. So the gameplay is basically divided up into 3 different rounds, okay? So the rounds, there are cards up here in the deeds for sale, and luckily you have this beautiful turn guide to kind of show you off, okay?
Yeah.
So one of the first, there are 3 things that you can do. You can purchase a lot from up here, and depending on where it is at, that is the price that you're going to end up paying. So that's pretty much standard, right? The longer something is there on the board, the cheaper it gets. Or you can buy it or upgrade one of your lots. Now, it doesn't cost you anything to place the tile on the board as long as you have the cut location. So I'm going to give an example here. Say if I got, well, this one's hard to see, so we'll go down here. Okay. All right. So
that's my lot. You're stealing my place.
Yeah, totally am. Okay. So I have these 3 workers here. So I can choose to build a building or upgrade. So I can build a building just like that. I'm going to move
my building on top of your lots.
I'm just trying to show them the mechanism. All right, and then that's what cursors on the edge. So that's how that works. Now here's something though. Say if I had this, I don't have any L's. I've used them all. All right, we'll do this. All right, so say we'll show you. All right, so say I have this level 2 here, but I have 2 more that I eventually got for in another round or something like that. I can then choose to upgrade, so I can take the building. So the building has to be greater than the building I'm taking off. So in this case, it's going from a 2 to a 4. And then I'm going to remove that, put that here. I lose whatever I'm replacing. So yeah, I'm getting 6 population, but I am losing 1 money income. So when you replace the building, you lose that benefit. It goes back on your board. You take your workers, you place them back, and you're ready to go and bid again on other lots. Okay, so that's the build or upgrade. And then the last action that you can take is gaining income. So depending on the amount of money buildings that you put, a commerce buildings or is what the game refers it to, you take 5 coin plus that quantity that is exposed. And you can either see it by your buildings, or you can go down here and look and see which money buildings have been removed and count that because the statistics are on those buildings.
You do start the game with 6 lots already randomly selected. Now it does give you a variant where you can draft those, and I think that's probably what we'll want to start doing, because I think it's better to do the draft.
I think it would be a little bit better. Although random kind of forces you, I can see it either way.
Yeah, well, I mean, random is the default mode.
Yeah, specifically if you're playing with people that maybe aren't accustomed to the game, then I definitely think that
random
I agree.
Is fine. If it's
and I can see even random being fine, you know, just depending on how, whatever. So, but I can also see drafting, and I feel like that would be fun, and I feel like that's probably what we'll end up doing because I just know our player group. So that being said, that's fine. All right, so you keep going around until all the deed cards are removed from that round. Then that triggers the end of the round. The end of the round has literally, when the last card is removed, it exposes what error 1, the instructions for that. So basically, then you get victory points based on your money buildings. You get an income based on the money that's shown. Then you move on to the population scoring plus.
It's
dependent.
It's dependent on who's furthest on that track. They get a bonus for the round plus their base score, and you always score the person above you. So as long as you're on the track, you're going to get points, and it'll be based on the population of the person who is above you on the track.
And I definitely think there's some strategy, right? Because you could try, because at the end, that last round, you get an extra 10 victory points if you're first. So there could be something set, and population is 1 for 1. And so, for example, I'm getting a 6 population building. That's worth 6 victory points. However, like a money, this money, I'm getting 3 income, but it's only worth 5 victory points, right? And so
in the last round, it's worth, the money is converted to victory
right, that's
points.
the last round, though, but I'm talking round to round. So, I mean, there's some strategy that maybe like, you know what, all I'm going to do is gain money buildings and whatever, and then at least be on the track a little bit, I guess, and let people draw you up. So there's some stuff that you can do with that.
Yeah.
Definitely, as far as strategy goes, like I said, we've only got to play it twice. So we still haven't fully explored some of that strategy.
Well, there's also the third type of building, which is the civic buildings.
Basically, AKA victory point buildings.
Yeah, based upon what's adjacent to.
Yes. So there are those, and like Dad got a lot of points that last one, and that's almost all he did really was those civ buildings. And they kind of work because they're so small, so you're able to put them in a lot smaller locations.
They can be really powerful, especially if somebody's building up and trying to do the population strategy, and they get a bunch of those together. You can score a bunch of points off of other people's populations.
Yeah, you just need to saddle up next to them and be like, hey,
so, yeah,
I'm going to mooch.
And then, when you add in the objectives, they introduce the bonuses of 8 victory points per objective. So that can swing you too. So there's a lot of ways to play this.
Yeah, okay. So there's one add-on we played with that I think we both agreed we did not. Okay, I see the value, but I didn't like the value. So they basically had cards that you can mix in with the deed deck that gave you special abilities that you could purchase. Now, there was the divination card. I don't think that one seems a little wonky. Basically, you get to reset the objectives.
Yeah, I didn't care for that. Even though I benefited from it, I didn't care for it because you spend your entire game trying to shoot for these common objectives, and then it lets you just draw 2 more and potentially replace them. Even in the last round, you could be doing that, and I don't like that because it totally destroys somebody's strategic goal for the game.
Yeah, I mean, because they're worth 8 victory points. I mean, that's pretty substantial in this game, and so to be able to switch out 2 of them, that could be 16 victory points. That could totally devastate a game because of how close these scores were. So I don't. Yes. Plus, not only that, though, but those ended up staying on the board. Like, nobody wanted the powers.
And
we were like, what?
Caused a stalling of the game.
Yeah, because we were like, okay, well, I'll get money this round because I don't want to buy that stupid card. And you were like, well, I'll do this thing because I don't want this card. And so we ended up, and then finally it's like, fine, I'll bite the bullet, right?
I will say that even without those, there was some stalling at that point in the game. Every time
there was a little bit.
So that's one thing I didn't like about it was that stalling effect. It felt a little wonky. It didn't feel quite as smooth as like what we felt with Wonderland Wars the other day. I mean, or Wonderland's Wars.
No, but the thing is, it's just like Terraforming Mars. You're trying to prolong your turn as much as possible so you can get some stuff done. Because at the end of the day, there is kind of a timing mechanism where, you're getting all these things, but if you don't get your buildings out, just because you bought all the deeds doesn't mean. And so I noticed right there towards the end, if there wasn't anything you wanted, you focused on building up your buildings and things like that, which I think is okay because you're still doing stuff. But with the other cards, it was like, oh, I got to find something to do because I really don't want that card. Is there something that's a little bit different than, okay, I need to place my building before the end of round so I can get my victory points for it, right? So I think it's a little bit different, and that module, I don't see us using in the future.
Yeah. Also, we're not big on attack, so I doubt the stealing one will be. We might play with the trading aspect. You can play with either or both.
Well, see, I'd have been fine. I've been like, hey, I'll trade you for that one for this one because I really need my 6, and I really need my whatever.
The trading add-on, you basically get victory point tokens that are worth 2 on one side, 4 on the other. If you're playing trading, you can use them as a token, as an offering, but you can trade anything you want. You can trade lots, you can trade the victory points, you can trade cards, anything you want to make it a deal as long as you're both mutually agreeing. You could even make future deals, although they're not binding, like I'll trade you, but I will not play this type of building there, or whatever kind of arrangement you want. But you are not beholden to keep that if it's not an immediate.
So, but I think that's going to be a very different player base doing the trading and negotiating.
Yeah, that's why it said it didn't recommend playing that the first couple games because it changes the dynamic of the game.
Significantly. I could see that changing it quite significantly. You can almost get in a Monopoly trading thing for it. My family, I don't know if we can handle that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think
I say that I love.
The key to the strategy of the game is the claiming of those lots and trying to strategically position yourself in a way, because once you've got it, nobody can take it from you unless you're playing with that module. And I think that's important to the gameplay. Yeah. So I don't know that I'm going to like playing with that one either.
Yeah, that one we'll have to see. But overall, though, the reality is I had a lot of fun playing this game. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed it. I love the Tetris thing. I love trying to grab for the deals, deeds. hopefully for a deal, 2 coins, versus having to pay 10 for them. Because there was a couple of times I shelled out my 8 coins, I shelled out my 6 coins because I really needed that location.
Yeah.
And so there, and I felt that piece was actually a pretty good balance of, most of the time I got stuff for 2, 3, 4, but then there were times I had to spend the big money. And so that I like, because a lot of times, you get in games and it's like, oh, well, it's never going to be worth 8. Well, I feel like in some instances for this game, you pay the 8.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there were times where I was hoping something would come down in price and I lost out on them because somebody else snagged them before. Even though, like, your dad snagged one that had no benefit to him whatsoever. It just
Except
was in the middle of my territory.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it happens. So that's, overall, though, I had a lot of fun. I really super enjoyed it. It's not super heavy.
No.
It's really kind of, it is a light to medium. You can put as much strategy into it as to an extent. So that's kind of nice. But this one's a great for, a shorter evening. Yeah. This is great for a game night during the week. For that.
Well,
so
I like that it's self-taught too. I mean, really, without even reading the rules, if you read the guide and then you score based upon when you you reveal the eras, you would be able to play the game pretty much. I mean, the rulebook will give you some of the particulars, but that's really all you need, and it's out there for you.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Super, super simple. Overall score, gameplay. What are you thinking?
I am probably going to give this one just the base game. If you don't do the add-ons, I'll probably give it an 8.5. I think it's an excellent light to medium puzzle strategy type game. As far as when you add the add-ons in, I think these are ones that detract from the game as opposed to add, except for maybe the objectives.
No, I don't mind the monuments.
Well, no, the monuments, I don't even consider that an add-on. I think that's a must. I mean, they're just too beautiful to leave in the box.
No, monuments, good. Objectives, I'm still iffy. I think they're a little heavy-handed on the points. Open for discussion. Because we only played it the one time, and then that one divination card's kind of jerked with it. So I need to play that again with that. But the adding deed card, no.
Yeah, no, I think that the base game is as refined as you're going to get it, and adding on. I mean, like I said, I don't think these are really add-ons. I think they're part of the base game. No, I mean
they're add-ons, but then the objectives are add-ons, right? Yeah. And those might work out. And then the drafting of these cards might work out. So there are some stuff that it's possible it could work out, but the base game is phenomenal. Like if you just had the base, you wouldn't feel any loss. Mm-hmm. I don't think. So overall, though, top notch. You're giving it an 8.5. I actually agree. I think this is an 8.5. It is a good, solid, light to medium game. We will bring this out, I think, multiple times. I see this next game day coming out.
Well, it'll be out because I don't know where to put it. It's so big.
Is it just going to stay here between us?
Well, it might.
No flirting with you now. I'm kind of
out of shelf space completely, so I've got to figure out what I'm going to do here because I'm running into problems.
Sacrifice? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we have some duplicates coming in, so.
We do?
Yeah, you're going to get Castles of Burgundy, right?
Oh, well, yeah. But that's going to be another big one probably, and it's going to replace a little one. So, yeah.
So, I know. You're going to have to build a game shed or something.
I've already talked about somehow doing a digging underneath the yard and putting in a whole new wing, but I don't think that's going to be practical.
I don't think
I'm pretty sure the HOA would frown upon that.
No, my friend's got plans. Do not allow him his plans. Well, guys, we had so much fun tonight. We've had a streak of some really good games.
Yep.
So that's exciting. I always love it when we get a good streak. I don't like it when we get a bad streak. Which has happened, but not this go around. So we'll catch you guys later. Bye.